Hello friends, it's Armstrong here from Other Miniatures. I'm just sitting here doing nothing creative and something struck me. I can actually make a video instead of just wasting my time. So I just pick up the first card that I have on my desk, and that's this perfect ugliness. Yeah, it is one of those cheapo cards that I had bought like 4 or 5 years ago, and I never have idea for it. So it was just sitting here doing nothing, yeah? So let's just start converting it, because I literally have a half-an-hour lunch break, and like I said, I was doing nothing, and I decided to just toss it in and build something, yeah? Just very quickly, yeah? I don't think that we're gonna finish painting on the lunch break, but we're gonna finish building at least. So, first of all, RAM, yeah? This is one of the RAMs that I printed probably about 2 years ago. This is the skull RAM, yeah? Then I have spikes for the wheels, yeah? Again, years ago I printed those spikes, yeah, never used them all up, so it's a good idea to now fill up those wheels and make it more aggressive, I guess, yeah, more spiky. Yeah, I'm surprised that those prints are actually holding so well. Usually the resin tend to, after a couple of years, tend to become more brittle, yeah, but those ones keeping very well, so yeah, I'm happy about that. I'm gonna be honest, I really do not have a complete idea about this build, so it's gonna be kind of a very quick mashup. And I was thinking, you know, I don't like this bent hood, and if I put the engine on top of it, it's gonna look like that, but I think that that's the quickest way you can add it some horsepowers. So that's what I'm gonna do, and yeah, it's gonna look good, but who cares? Yeah, it's a very quick, you know, lunchtime Wastelands build, yeah? So I have this, and now weapons. I have this machine gun on the desk, but I don't really think it's gonna work. It's kind of not really working on this rounded roof. I have those double rocket launchers. Again, they may or may not work. Yeah, again, matter of the roof. But I have as well those single rocket launchers in here, and I think that we can use them, like, you know, cover the windows with them, pretend that they fit, yeah, and they're gonna kind of work. So let's just try that. And this is not me, you know, trying to challenge myself like I did one time, you know, to build a car in 15 minutes. It's just me having a creative lunch break, which, I gonna be honest, rarely ever happened anymore. You know, I have massive creativity blocks lately, and when, you know, inspiration strike like today, I like to use it up. So I want to armor this up. This isn't actually perfect, yeah? It is not bent as the window is. It's not exactly as it should be, but I can just slap it as it is on top of it and just hold it for a few seconds. It should work. So we're gonna armor that front window and pray for the best possible results, yeah? So again, it is not perfect. If you hear children screaming in the background, that's not my kids, that's my neighbor's grandchildren that are visiting her for the summer holidays, and they are very loud. Yeah, but I don't mind, they are kids, they're gonna be kids, and that's the basic, the long and short of it. Okay, that window is somewhat covered, somewhat not, yeah, it just turned out like that. Now the back window, I'm thinking about smackaroo of one of those, yeah? Again, it doesn't really fit, it's not as bendy as the previous one, yeah? Or I can do this and just leave it a slit on the back. I don't know. Oh, that's the thing, you know, half an hour only, so maybe this? That's kind of gonna work. Now, do I have scissors? Yes, I do. So this, you know, this is the improvisation at its best when you have to fit something in a very short period of time. Yeah, you're gonna be improvising like crazy. There we go, our back window is gonna be covered. I'm gonna finish this later on this evening and post it, but you know, it's always refreshing to do something like that. Because lately I tend to sit and overthink every single project, and then I do nothing because I get into my stupid headspace. And we have those 3 barrels. I'm thinking, you know, we can just smack them like that, or we can just maybe cut them in half. Nah, we're gonna smack them there. So now this is a flash from where it was attached to the base, yeah? So I'm just doing a little bit of trim. It's gonna look horrible, but then the paint gonna mask it. Yeah. So 1 barrel done, let's do 2 more. We're gonna have 3 small barrels. They're actually more up to scale than those giant ones that I normally use, because I finally found my box with all of the barrels and a lot of the fuel canisters. So yeah, I know I could print more when I wanted because I have a resin 3D printer, but I was unwilling, knowing that I have like a full collection of them. So now very quickly, and we're gonna put those Imperial Eagles standing up, showing in here. Actually, we're gonna start from the middle one, and we're gonna go the second one. We're gonna drop a little bit of super glue on the sides. It's gonna help. Now, where is that Imperial Eagle? There it is. Yep. And then we're gonna put some in here. And barrel number 3. Again, Imperial Eagle up. I just took the normal barrels and I downscaled them to fit Wastelands more, in my opinion. Okay. I kind of feel it. Yeah. I'm thinking maybe I'm gonna use this piece of the strap just to put it on the front to make it a little bit different. Yeah, so that's gonna be our texture on the hood next to the engine, replacing what we destroyed by applying other stuff. Yeah. This plastic do not really like super glue, so it always requires holding a little bit longer, but that's just fine. And we're gonna take this one, cut it roughly to the same size, and smack a dakaru. Too long. Let's just give it. Seb, come on. And there we go. I know, this was very interesting. So, very quick, very easy and stress-free conversion. Obviously, ton of 3D prints, yeah, because that's the quickest way of converting stuff if you have the 3D prints. Not the most creative though, which is kind of disappointing for me. Yeah, but the easy build. The only thing I'm thinking, you know, maybe some sort of a spikes. I kind of miss that aesthetic from this build. Feels like it requires it. Just see what I have in here. I have this rod. Let's just try to do it. Let's just try to do spikes out of rods. I don't know if that's gonna be a good idea or not, but we're gonna go like with 5 spikes. Alright, let's see. If we're gonna put it straight, that's just gonna look bad. If we're gonna put it like that, or like that, yeah, okay, I think that we have idea. But I have idea. So I tend to fall into the YouTuber kind of a fallacy where instead of saying I or I speak we, yeah, because it feels like there is a group of people in here, you know, sometimes. And, you know, this is supposed to be for the public, so... But yeah, it is still a fallacy in my opinion, just kind of a weird way of speaking. What can I do? It's just me. I tend to overthink stuff a lot. And then you don't have videos for 3 months straight because I'm sitting there thinking about something silly. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know whether those spikes are necessary or even if that's gonna turn out, you know, to be something interesting on this car. But I just want them, so I'm making them. Okay, so 2 more, 1 and 2. I don't know how they're gonna be holding because, again, afterthought, so not even a sanding was done in here. But surprisingly, in my opinion, this actually looks better now. So yeah, I'm happy, yeah. I'm gonna post this video later on today, but you know, right now I need to go back to work. So priming, and then I'm gonna be back in a few seconds for you. So yeah, the paint is finally dry, and we can start doing the metallic dry brush that I said that it's gonna be done on this one. I'm not really looking into making any more than just dry brushing this because, well, maybe a little bit more. It is not really a dry brush, it's an overbrush. Yeah, but I just wanted to have this metallic look because it's fairly menacing, fairly evil-ish looking, which you know what I like. And this car, yeah, from what I started with, I'm gonna be honest, no matter how it's gonna turn out, I'm still gonna be somewhat happy with it because it was a crappy car. Yeah, so we have this. I'm gonna give it like 5, and I'm gonna come back with some weathering, and maybe we're gonna pick up some colors in here. Yeah, but you know, this could go on the battlefield. Maybe a little bit of rust, and it's gonna be done. So yeah. Oh, I have idea, and I think that idea wouldn't be the worst one. I know that this car was originally purple, yeah, and I don't really want to go back into purple because it's a cool color, yeah. And when I was young and I have my emo phase for models, I would try to paint everything in purple, and yeah, it sucked. Yeah, purple is a brilliant looking color by itself, but I suck at painting it, and my miniatures painted in purple did suck, so I don't gonna be touching the purple for any kind of big projects, yeah. But red, yeah, red line through the middle of the car. Yeah, it's not gonna be pretty because it is a hand painted, so it's not gonna be perfectly straight. It's not gonna be perfectly perfect. It's gonna be actually perfectly imperfect. Yeah, so you're gonna have this red line through the middle of the car. Of course, we're gonna be avoiding, you know, any kind of plating that was added, but we're gonna be just going through the original car. Yeah, so you can probably already see that on the roof it was extremely imperfect. I will try to maybe come back and clean it a little bit because you can see there is this one in here. Let's just try to maybe widen it, make it somewhat wider on this side. And on this side, I don't know why the brush did split like that. I'm gonna have to clean it properly. Yeah. Let's see. Yep, it's a bad brush at the moment. Yeah. Just think that once every while I'm gonna have to invest in brushes, and I'm terrified because good brushes are expensive and that's scary. So we have this solid white in here, solid white on the roof, solid-ish white on the roof, and this extremely not solid white in the front. So, yep. I don't gonna be touching those skulls because I hate the idea of even dealing with them. But let's give it a couple of minutes to dry. So I'm gonna be back in a few. So I changed hands, yeah, well, I was doing a little bit of paint pot cleanup and it was better in gloves, so I just kept them for this. So we're gonna give it a red belt, yeah, red belt through the middle. We are looking using a slaughter red. I think it is slaughter red. Yeah, slaughter red. From Army Painter. It's a. I love the depth of this paint. Depth, I guess that would be the right word. It's just such a nice dark red. Of course, it looks totally different after drying, so that's another thing, but it covers very nicely as well. And now just the belt in here. Oh, I'm actually on the camera for the first time in a while. Yeah. So we have this, which is very, very nice. Now let's go with the Borat. Okay. And now I want to do a little bit of weathering. Well, weathering, we're gonna be doing a rust. Yeah, so I want this Games Workshop red because it is different shade. It's gonna be showing differently on the car. So we're gonna just do like bops and boops and you know, and bops and whoops. Yeah. So just a little bit here and there, and that's good enough. And now for the, well, I can probably add a little bit here on top of the spikes, maybe some in here. And now we're gonna add some orange, and I'm actually gonna be using a speed paint orange because it's gonna fade away, so it's gonna look like a faded rust. Yeah. So just here and here and here and here and here. That's enough. And now, where do I have my sandish colors? What do I have in here? Base XV88. That's a good enough sandish color. But like always, you know, I have mess on my desk, so every single paint is somewhere that it shouldn't be. Which is nothing new, yeah? Nothing new for me. Because, you know, I do my hobbying and I do my work at the same desk, which by the nature of me is messy at the end of the day, yeah, because every time I finish work, I clean up, you know, I just remove all of my work equipment and then I bring my hobby stuff in, so it moves, you know, every day, which could be frustrating, but at the end of the day, that's how I have this set up. I'm really looking to buy myself a shed and set up a studio in the shed, so I can, you know, just go and enjoy my more important part of life, you know, in a peace of quiet and somewhat organized manner. Yeah, because I'm gonna be honest, work is just work. My hobby space is something that I enjoy and something that brings a happiness to somewhat of a bleak life of an everyday nerd. So now let's just give this, you know, let's paint the wheels because we know they have to be dirty. Then we're gonna do a little bit of dry brush here. We're gonna dry brush this to hide the the reds and the oranges a little bit. Yeah, all of our rust. Yeah, this is a little bit of dry brush here. And we're gonna try to avoid that red belt. Yeah, and maybe even dirty the spike and the rocket launchers. Yep, I think that is nice. That is good. I really need to refill my water because I have one of those watercolors thingies for the water, but obviously being me, I completely forgot to refill it today. And let me just maybe paint the front cone, not coat, front cone of the rocket launchers in red. We're gonna use the slaughter red without putting a undercoat. It's gonna be giving us that danger look, and if you can probably see in here a little bit of blue still showing up, even though I was flipping this car around when I was priming it, it still shows up. But for this kind of builds, you're gonna look at this from the top. Yeah, so I can probably come back later on with a black paint, but it's not really necessary. All right, so quick cleanup. Yeah, that's how I usually clean up my desk. And now glamour look at this. Yeah, so I'm gonna be honest, from what I started with, yeah, how crappy the original car was, I'm actually very happy how it turned out. Yeah, and it is actually Wednesday evening right now. It is 10:15 and I finished it, and I started I think last Wednesday. So yeah, like it was just sitting on my desk and I was like, do I want to do something with it, or will it be just a piece of crap that I'm never gonna finish? Yeah, and for what it is, yeah, for what it started as and how it looks like right now, I'm actually very happy about it. Yeah, so tell me what you think. Yeah, because I think that from such a crappy car that it started to this, it is quite a beautiful transformation. Yeah, so if you like it, you know what to do. Rate, comment, subscribe, share, and all of that shenanigans. And I'm gonna skedaddle because I have to paint the next car. And see you all guys in next video. Take care. Bye bye.